Welcome, weary travelers, to a realm where the wind sings lullabies, and the trees hold ancient secrets. Close your eyes and let the gentle whispers of the whispering woods guide you into a peaceful slumber as we embark on journey with Fleslum, a fox. In the heart of the enchanting whispering woods lived Phelan, a fox adorned with a cornbar scoring gold, and blessed with wit and intelligence spoken of far and wide. One day, a peculiar feeling settled over Phelan, leading him to a fateful encounter with the wise old owl Orla. Orla revealed to Phelan a quest to restore harmony to the forest, beginning with solving a riddle that held the key to understanding the discord among the forest dwellers. With his sharp mind and keen, Phelan embarked on his journey, facing trials that tested his cunning and compassion. As night fell upon the whispering woods, Phelan found himself aiding a family of rabbits and freeing a trapped bear named Bram, learning valuable lessons of unity and strength along the way. Now, as Phelan rests beneath the stars, as the journey continues guided by the whispers of the forest and the light of the moon, join us as we delve into the fox's trials, a journey through the whispering woods, and let the tranquility of the woods lull you into a peaceful sleep. Chapter 1. The Quest Begins. Once upon a time, in the heart of the enchanted whispering woods, where the trees were said to hold ancient secrets, and the wind sang lullabies to those who dared to listen, there lived a fox named Phelan. Phelan was no ordinary fox. He was adorned with a coat of that shimmered in hues of ember and gold under the sun's touch. And he possessed a wit and intelligence that was spoken of far and wide. He and the young his fate were filled with the joy of discovery, for he was ever curious, always venturing deeper into the woods in search of its secrets. But one day, as the sun dipped low, casting long shadows through the thicket, a peculiar feeling settled over Phelan. The woods seemed to whisper more urgently, and the wind carried a message that stirred something deep within him. Change is upon us, the trees whispered. And then with it, a quest that only one of heart and mind can endure. Intrigued, Phelan followed the whispers until he arrived at the oldest tree in the forest, a massive oak whose branches touched the sky and whose roots delved deep into the earth. Beneath the oak stood the wise old owl Orla, the keeper of the forest lore. Thoughts or Phelan, Orla hooted solemnly, her eyes glimmering with a light that seemed to hold the very stars themselves. A forest is in disarray, and harmony has been lost. You have been chosen to embark on a quest to restore it. The journey will test your wit, your bravery, and your heart. Are you prepared to face the trials ahead? Phelan, with a spark of determination in his eyes, nodded. He understood the weight of the task before him, but the thrill of an adventure and the chance to prove his cunning were calls too enticing to ignore. The first trial, Orla continued, lies with solving a riddle that I shall present to you. Listen carefully, for in the riddle lies the path to understanding the discord among the forest dwellers. And so, Orla spoke the riddle, daylights. Embrace and lead steep sigh. I am unseen, yet always nigh. I bind the forest, both root and limb, yet break so easily. What am I? Phelan pondered the riddle, his mind weaving through possibilities like a stream through the woods. Then, with a glint of realization, he responded, Your answer is harmony. It is the unseen bond that holds the forest together, yet it is fragile and can easily be broken. Orla nodded, a hint of a smile in her wise old eyes. Indeed, Phelan, harmony is what binds us all, yet it has been fractured. The request is to mend it, to find the root of discord and bring unity back to the whispering woods. with the riddle solved and his path laid before him. Faisal felt the weight of his quest settle upon his shoulders, yet he also felt a lightness in his heart, for he knew that within him lay the cunning, the bravery, and the wisdom to face whatever trials awaited. And so, with the blessing of Orla and the whispering trees guiding his steps, Freeing set off into the woods, his spirit alight with purpose. The quest had begun, and the fate of the whispering woods now rested in the paws of the fox, who dared to listen to the wind. As Fresuin ventured deeper into the heart of the whispering woods, guided by the murmurs of the leaves and the soft glow of the moonlight, he came on a river. This was no ordinary river, for it flowed with the grace of 1,000 years, carrying secrets and songs from the mountains down to the sea. Raisin rains had swollen its banks, and the river raged with a ferocity that barred passage. On the bank, a family of rabbits huddled together, their eyes wide with worry. They had been attempting to cross to the other side, where the meadows were lush and food was abundant, but the swollen river stood as an insurmountable barrier. Seeing the fox, the smallest rabbit, a bundle named Leela, stepped forward with a tremble. "Kind sir, could you help us? We need to reach the meadows, but the river, it's too dangerous." Phelan, with his heart moved by the rabbit's plight, pondered the situation. He knew he must use his wit to solve this problem, not just for the sake of the quest, but for the well-being of his fellow forest dwellers. "Stay here," he instructed, his mind already weaving through possibilities. They studied the river, noting the patterns of the currents and the placement of rocks. His eyes sparkled with a cunning plan. He darted back into the woods, gathering vines and sturdy branches. With the help of the rabbits, who found their courage in Phelan's confidence, they fashioned a makeshift raft. But the fox knew that the raft alone would not suffice against the river's might. "Trust in the forest," Phelan murmured, remembering the wisdom of the wise old owl. He noticed a series of taller trees lining the bank, their branches hanging over the river like outstretched arms. With the rabbits' help, Phelan tied one end of the vines to the raft and the other to a large, sturdy branch. "Watch and learn," Phelan said, his eyes gleaming with excitement. He hopped onto the raft, instructing the rabbits to do the same. With a swift motion, he cut the vine holding them to the bank. The cart grabbed hold of the raft, propelling it forward. But instead of being swept away, it was a fox's version of a pulley system, using the river's force to their advantage while the vine kept them on course. As they reached the opposite bank, the rabbits hopped off the raft, their faces alight with joy and gratitude. "Thank you, Phelan. You've not only shown us a way across, but taught us the value of ingenuity and courage." Sadly, her eyes shining with admiration, Phelan simply nodded, a modest smile gracing his lips. "Remember, the forest provides for those who listen and respect its ways. Harmony lies in understanding and aiding each other, no matter how big or small." With their spirits lifted and the river crossed, the rabbits ventured into the meadows, while Phelan continued on his quest, his heart a little lighter. He had solved the problem with wit indeed, but more importantly, he had fostered a sense of unity among the forest's inhabitants. As the fox disappeared into the woods, the trees whispered among themselves, their leaves rustling with approval. The quest was far from over, but Phelan had proven himself worthy of the challenges that lay ahead. Upon leaving the river and its newfound friends behind, Phelan ventured further, his paws treading softly upon the mossy forest floor. The moon, now high in the sky, bathed the woods in a silver glow, turning the ordinary into the mystical. It was long before the tranquility of the night was broken by a deep, sorrowful groaning that echoed through the trees. Curious and concerned, Phelan followed the sounds until he came upon a clearing. There, beneath the shadow of an ancient pine, lay a great bear. his forest dark as the night sky. The bear was trapped, his leg caught between the unforgiving jaws of an iron trap. His eyes veined with pain and fear. Meant Phelan's. "No, wise fox," the bear rumbled, his voice a mix of hope and despair. "I have been ensnared by man's device. I cannot free myself, and the pain, it is unbearable." Phelan approached cautiously, his mind racing to find a solution. He knew the bear, Bram, Arbitration, a gentle giant who had often helped smaller creatures of the forest. It was now time for Phelan to return the favor. "Stay calm, Bram," Phelan said soothingly, examining the trap. There was a complex mechanism, far beyond the simple snares the fox was accustomed to dismantling. But Phelan was not one to be deterred by the unfamiliar. His keen eyes and sharp mind began to dissect the workings of the trap, looking for a weakness. As he worked, Phelan spoke. "Bram, remember the stories of old. With the strength of one's heart and the cunning of one's mind could break any chain, open any lock." The bear nodded, taking solace in Phelan's words. The fox, with careful precision, manipulated the trap mechanism, using a sturdy stick as a lever and his own body weight to apply pressure at critical points. It was a delicate balance of force and finesse, a testament to Phelan's intelligence and understanding. After what felt like an eternity under the watchful eyes of the forest, there was a click. When the tribe came the tribe playing to do. They'll slowly release their cruel grip. Bran gently pulled his leg free, and though he was hurt, the relief in his eyes was palpable. "To Phelan, you have not only freed me from this trap, but also reminded me of the strength found in unity, and the power of wit over brute force," Bram said, his voice tinged with gratitude. Phelan smiled, helping Bram to his feet. "Remember, Bram, the forest is more than trees and earth. It is a family. Then in family, we find our greatest strength." As Bram limped away, promising to be more cautious, Phelan looked up at the stars, feeling their ancient light as a guide on his journey. He had faced a test of intellect and compassion, and in doing so, had woven another thread into the fabric of unity that bound the forest. The night whispered around him, the trees nodding their approval. Phelan's quest was far from over, but with each step, it was bringing the forest closer to harmony. After aiding Bram, the bear Phelan found himself weary from the day's trials. The moon sailed high in the velvet sky, a beacon of silver light in the quiet forest. He decided to rest for the journey ahead, promised more challenges and mysteries to unravel. Finding a secluded glen, embraced by ancient trees whose leaves whispered secrets of old, Phelan settled down, his back against the comforting trunk of an elder tree. As he gazed up at the stars, Phelan pondered the lessons of the day. He had encountered fear, pain, and the raw beauty of kindness. Each encounter, a story woven into the tapestry of the forest's life, reminded him of the delicate balance that existed within this world. The stars seemed to wink down at him, each one a silent guardian of the night. It was then that a soft glow caught his attention. Its light flickering gently in the darkness approached him. Soon, more joined until the space around Phelan was aglow with their serene light. In the quiet of the night, the simple act of nature felt like a gesture of gratitude, a reminder that no act of kindness, however small, went unnoticed. Feeling a sense of unity with the world around him, Phelan lay down, letting the soft hum of the forest lull him into restful sleep. His dreams were vivid, filled with the adventures of the day. But they also whispered hints of what was yet to come. He saw the forest vibrant and alive, its inhabitants working together in harmony. And amidst it all, a fox, his coat gleaming in the sun, a symbol of the wisdom and courage that had restored balance to the forest. When dawn's first light pierced the veil of night, Phelan awoke, refreshed and ready to continue his quest. The fireflies had departed, but their message remained with him, a beacon of hope in the darkest of times. He rose, stretching his limbs, and with a deep breath, set forth once more into the heart of the whispering woods. The night under the stars had been a gift, a moment of peace amidst the trials of his quest. It served as a reminder that beauty and kindness were never far, even in times of great need. And with these thoughts warming his heart, Phelan moved forward. The light of dawn, guiding his steps towards the final trail that awaited. As the sun climbed higher, casting a golden light through the dense canopy of the whispering woods, Phelan, with a heart full of courage and a mind sharp as ever, courage to place was tried to try her. The wise old owl had spoken of 3 trials, each a testament to the spirit of the one who dared to undertake the quest for harmony within the forest. The clearing that Phelan entered was bathed in sunlight, a stark contrast to the shadowy depths from which he had emerged. In the center stood an ancient stone, its surface smooth from the touch of countless seasons. Carved into the stone was the emblem of the first trail, a fox, his tail wrapped around the trunk of a tree, its eyes set with gleaming gems that seemed to pierce the very soul of any who dared to look. Phelan approached, his steps slow and deliberate. He understood that this was not a trial of strength, for brute force could never hope to unlock the wisdom of the forest. Instead, he closed his eyes, reaching out with his senses to the world around him, listening to the whisper of the wind, the chatter of the leaves, and the soft murmur of the earth beneath his paws. In that moment of stillness, Phelan felt the connection between all things within the forest. He understood that the trial was not a challenge to be overcome, but a lesson to be learned. The importance of balance and unity among all living creatures. Opening his eyes, Phelan spoke aloud the vow he had formed in his heart. I, Phelan, son of the Whispering Woods, pledge to uphold the harmony of the forest, to protect the weak, and to share the wisdom of the old. Let this vow bind me to the heart of the forest as its guardian and friend. As his words echoed in the clearing, the gems in the stone's eyes shimmered with a lake pure and clear. The ground trembled gently, and the air filled with the scent of blooming flowers. The ancient stone, recognizing the truth and conviction in Phelan's vow, granted its blessing. Where one light enveloped Phelan, weaving around him like threads of gold, sealing the vow and marking him as the guardian of the forest. With the first trial conquered, Phelan felt a surge of energy and clarity. He knew that the path ahead was fraught with challenges, but the forest had accepted him, and in turn, he had embraced his role within its endless cycle of life. As he stepped forth from the clearing, Phelan carried with him the light of the ancient stone, a beacon to guide him through the trials to come. He had proven himself worthy not through might, but through the depth of his understanding and the purity of his heart. The Whispering Woods whispered his name, a chorus of voices, ancient and young, that carried his tale through the underbrush and up to the highest leaves. Phelan, the cunning fox, had embarked on a quest not for glory or fame, but for the love of the forest and all its creatures. And in doing so, he had begun to weave a new legend, one that would be told for generations to come. Chapter 2. Near the Mountains of Mystery. Having conquered the first trial with heart and wisdom, Phelan now faced the journey into the Mountains of Mystery. These towering peaks, shrouding veils of swirling mists and secrets, stood as the guardians of ancient wisdom. The path to the mountains was seldom mocked, for it was said that only those who seek truth beyond the surface of things would find their way. Phelan, with the light of the ancient stone still warm in his heart, set forth at dawn. The forest seemed to part before him, whispering farewells and wishes of good fortune. As the trees thinned, the ground rose beneath his paws, and soon the lush greens of the forest gave way to the rugged, stony grays of the mountain foothills. The path was indeed treacherous, winding its way up through narrow ledges and across swift, cold mountain streams. Each step was a test of endurance and faith, for the way was not marked, save for the occasional cairn of stones piled by some unknown hand. Fezuin's breath grew heavy in the thinning air, and his muscles ached with the effort of the climb. Yet his spirit remained undaunted. He understood that this physical journey mirrored the inner path to wisdom, fraught with challenges demanding perseverance and a steadfast heart. As Phelan ascended, the sun journeyed across the sky, casting long shadows that danced among the peaks. In these high places, the world seemed both vast and intimate, each stone and gust of wind a testament to the ageless dance of creation. It was here, amidst the silent majesty of the mountains, that Phelan came upon a realization. Wisdom, he reflected, was not a treasure to be unearthed but several seized with a hand. It was a way of being, a path walked with open eyes and an open heart. Each step forward, no matter how small or faltering, was a step toward understanding the true nature of things. Not as we wish them to be, but as they are. As the day waned, Phelan found a sheltered nook among the rocks, a place where the wind sang softly through the stones. As he settled into rest, he looked out across the world spread below him, a tapestry of forest, field, and stream, lit by the last golden rays of the setting sun. In this moment of quiet, Phelan felt a deep connection to the world and its intricate web of life. He realized that wisdom lay not in the seeking of power over others, but in understanding one's place within the grand scheme of things. It was the humility to learn from every creature, and the courage to face the unknown with a heart full of hope. That, under a blanket of stars, Phelan dreamed of the mountain's peak, where the sky kissed the earth, and the secrets of the old were whispered on the wind. He dreamed of a world in balance, where every heart beat in harmony with a great song of creation. With the first light of dawn, Phelan rose, his resolve strengthened by the trials of the path, and the truths revealed in the quiet of the mountain night. He knew the journey ahead would test him in ways he could not yet foresee. But he also knew that with each step, he walked closer to the wisdom sought by those who dare to dream, to question, and to seek. And so, with the mountains of mystery stretching before him, Phelan continued his quest. Each step a testament to the strength, founding perseverance, and the endless quest for understanding. In the heart of the mountains of mystery, where the air danced with the chill of unseen snows, and the earth rose to kiss the sky, Phelan's journey led him to a realm where only the sure-footed dared to tread. Here, amidst craggy peaks and sheer cliffs, he encountered a creature as much a part of the mountain as the stone itself. An Indigo mountain goat. Its coat is white as the snow clad, so its eyes gleaming with the wisdom of the high places. The goat, standing proud and unyielding upon a narrow ledge, called out to Phelan, its voice echoing against the stone. Who dares to tread upon these sacred peaks without the grace of the mountain's heart? Phelan, undaunted by the challenge in the goat's voice, replied, I am Phelan, seeker of wisdom and guardian of the forest's harmony. I come seeking understanding, not conquest. The mountain goat eyed Phelan with a look that pierced through to the soul, and stamped its hoof upon the rock. Wisdom is earned, not given. If it is understanding you seek, then you must prove your worth. I challenge you to a contest of agility. Reach the peak before the moon rises high, and you shall have my respect and guidance. Phelan, you must leave these mountains, never to return. Phelan accepted, understanding that the trials he faced were as much about learning as they were about proving. The contest began at the edge of dawn, with the first light painting the world in hues of gold. and crimson. The mountain goat leaped forward, sure-footed and swift, bounding from rock to rock with the ease of the wind itself. His husband followed, his heart light and his spirit empty. He quickly realized that to match the goat in agility was impossible. The creature was one with the mane in a way no fox could ever be. But Phelan was not without his own gifts. He was cunning and wise with a keen mind that saw not just the path, that path that could be. As the race led them higher, the air grew thin, and the path narrowed. Phelan, using his keen sense of the forest and the lessons of the wind, began to read the mountain. Instead of matching the goat's leaps and bounds, he sought a different way. A path through the underbrush, along streams hidden from sight, where the earth offered its own guidance. The mountain goat, seeing Phelan's strategy, increased its pace, determined to reach the peak first. But as the sun began to dip toward the horizon, casting long shadows across the mountain, it became clear that Phelan's cleverness had turned the tide. He emerged upon the peak just as the first silver light of the moon touched the world. The mountain goat arriving moments later, its sides heaving with the effort of the ascent. The goat bowed its head, a gesture of respect. When you have proven your worth, Phelan not through strength or speed, but through wisdom and understanding. The mountain has much to teach, and you have shown yourself ready to learn. As the moon rose higher, bathing the peaks in its ethereal glow, the mountain goat shared its knowledge with Phelan. It spoke of the ancient paths, hidden from the eyes of those who see only with their eyes and not with their heart. It whispered secrets of the wind and stone, teaching Phelan a language of the mountains, a language of patience, endurance, and respect for the natural world. With the goat's guidance, Phelan found his path through the mountains of mist illuminated not just by the moon's light, but by the understanding that true wisdom lay in harmony with the world, in the balance of strength and gentleness, action and reflection. As dawn broke, casting a new light upon the word, Phelan set forth once more, his heart full of the lessons, learned not just from a mountain goat, but from a mountain itself. For in the challenge and the journey, he had found not just a guide, but a friend, and in the heart of the mountain, a peace of his own. Guided by the wisdom of the mountain goat, Phelan ventured deeper into the heart of the mountains of mystery, where a stone rose to meet the sky, and the secrets of the earth whispered in the shadows. His path led into the entrance of the echoing caves, a place where light and sound played tricks upon the mind. And the boundary between reality and illusion blurred like mist over a pond. As Phelan stepped into the cool embrace of the caves, his footsteps echoed, multiplying until it seemed as though a multitude walked beside him. The air was alive with whispers, laughter, and cries, a symphony of sounds without source. Yet, here in the belly of the mountain, Phelan faced a trial unlike any before. To navigate a world where his senses could not be trusted, where fear lurked in the echoes of his own making. The deeper Phelan ventured, the more the cave seemed to shift and change around him. Paths forked and twisted, leading him in circles while echoes of his own breath returned as growls and whispers, filling him with doubt. It was in this place of confusion and fear that Phelan confronted the shadows within himself. It doubts that whispered he was not strong enough, wise enough, or brave enough to complete his quest. But Phelan, remembering the lessons of the forest and the mountain, closed his eyes and took a deep breath. He understood that to navigate the echoing caves, he must rely not on his eyes or ears, but on the deeper sense of knowing that lay within his heart. Trusting in himself and the guidance of the earth beneath his paws, Phelan moved forward, step by cautious step, guided by the subtle vibrations and the warmth of the air that whispered of open spaces. As he journeyed deeper into the heart of the cave, a faint glow began to emerge from the darkness, a light soft and subtle, yet unmistakable. drawn him to promise. Faison found himself standing before a pool of water, its surface smooth as glass, reflecting the light of gleaming crystals embedded in the seal above. Here, the echo softened, and Phelan's own reflection stared back at him, a reminder of who he was and a journey he had undertaken. It was beside this pool that Phelan met his unexpected guard, a creature born of the cave itself, a being of shadow and light, with eyes that held the depths of the mountain's secrets. The creature spoke in a voice that was both an echo and a truth. The path your fear is found not in fleeing its shadow, but in understanding its source. Faison, with the creature's words echoing in his heart, shared his fears and doubts, laying them bare before the mirror of the pool. The creature listened, its presence a comforting warmth in the cool darkness. And then it spoke of the illusions that fear weaves, how they distort and distract true truth. To overcome them, Phelan must trust in his own strengths, in the lessons of his journey. With the narrator's guidance, Phelan navigated the labyrinth of the echoing caves, each step forward a reaffirmation of his resolve. He learned to distinguish between the echoes of fear and the voice of his own courage. The caves with their twisting paths and deceptive echoes became not a prism of shadows, but a maze of lessons, each turn teaching them to trust in the instincts and wisdom that lay within. When at last Phelan emerged from the echoing caves, he stepped into the light at dawn. The sun's first rays painted the mountain in hue gold and amber. He turned to offer thanks to his guide, but the creature of shadow and light was gone, its presence a lingering warmth in his heart. Phelan continued his journey, the lessons of the echoing caves etched deep within his soul. He had faced his fears, navigated the maze of illusion, and emerged stronger, guided by the trust in his own heart and the wisdom of those who had walked the path before him. And so, Phelan's quest for wisdom carried him forward, each step a story, each challenge a lesson in the endless dance of light and shadow, fear and courage, illusion and truth. Beyond the echoing caves, where the whispers of old stories melded with the sigh of the wind, Phelan's path wound through the heart of the mountains of mystery, drawing him ever upward. The air, crisp and clear, carried the scent of ancient pines and whispered secrets of ages past. It was here, amidst the tranquil beauty of the high mountain meadows, that Phelan's journey took an unexpected turn, leading him to a meeting that would forever change his path. As the sun dipped low, casting long shadows over the land, Phelan came upon a clearing bathed in the soft glow of twilight. There, under the watchful gaze of the ancient stars, stood a figure as timeless as the mountains themselves, a fox, but unlike any Phelan had ever seen. His fur shimmered like moonlight on snow, silver and ethereal, and his eyes held the depth of the night sky, twinkling with wisdom and a gentle, knowing light. A silver fox, for that was how Phelan knew him in his heart, regarded the younger fox with a gaze that seemed to pierce through to the soul, seeing all that Phelan was and all that he might yet become. "Welcome, traveler," the elder fox spoke, his voice like the rustle of leaves underfoot. "I have been expecting you." Phelan, taken aback by the presence of this ancient guardian, bowed his head in respect. "I am Phelan, seeker of wisdom and guardian of the forest's harmony. I journey through these mountains in search of understanding." The silver fox nodded, a smile playing upon his lips. The path of wisdom is long and winding, filled with trials and lessons that challenge the heart and spirit. But it is also a journey of connection, of stories shared and truths revealed. As the stars begin to shine with greater intensity, the silver fox invited Phelan to sit beside him. Here, under the canopy of the cosmos, The elder fox began to share tales of the ancient world of the stars and the stones, of the wind and the water. He spoke of the balance of nature, of the harmony that binds all things, and of the delicate thread that connects the past with the present and the future. Faison listened, his heart open and his mind alight with wonder. Through the stories of the silver fox, he saw the world with new eyes, understanding not just the nature of his quest, but the deeper connections that bound him to the earth and all its creatures. He learned of the guardians who had walked his paths before him, each seeking wisdom in their own time, each contributing a verse to the great song of the forest. As the night deepened, the silver fox shared with Faison the secrets of the ancient guardians, the wisdom of the ages that had been passed down through generations. He spoke of the importance of balance, of the need to listen with more than just the ears, to see with more than just the eyes. He taught Phelan the language of the stars, the whispers of the wind, and the stories written in the stone. With each shared experience, Faison felt his understanding deepen, his spirit enriched by the knowledge and wisdom of the silver fox. He saw his quest not as a journey of solitary seeking, but as a continuation of a legacy, a thread woven into the fabric of a greater tapestry. As dawn broke, casting the first light of a new day across the mountains, Silver Fox stood, his eyes reflecting the colors of the sky. Your path continues, Faison, guardian of the forest's harmony. Remember the lessons of the night, the stories of the earth, and the wisdom of the stars. Carry them with you, and let them guide your steps. With those final words, the silver fox turned and vanished into the light of the new day, leaving Faison alone in the clearing, his heart full and his spirit renewed. He knew now that his quest was more than a search for wisdom. It was a journey of connection, of understanding the delicate balance that binds all things, with the blessings and insights of the silver fox guiding him. Faison set forth once more, his path illuminated by the light of ancient wisdom, the warmth of shared stories. His journey through the mountains of mystery continued, each step a testament to the lessons learned and the convictions forged in the heart of the wilderness. In the wake of the silver fox's departure, Faison stood alone in the clearing, a first light of dawn painting a world in hues of gold and amber. The wisdom shared by the elder fox lingered in his heart, a beacon of light guiding him deeper into the mysteries of the mountain. With each step, Faison felt the weight of the ages upon his shoulders, the legacy of the guardians who had walked this path before him. As Phelan ventured forth, the mountains seemed to whisper secrets, the wind and the trees speaking in a language only those who had been touched by the wisdom of the ages could understand. It was then that Faison came upon a stone circle, ancient and weathered, standing as a testament to the guardians of old. In the center of the circle, a pedestal of stone bore an inscription, the words etched deep into the rock. Titum Divum Rester, guardian of harmony, to unlock the mystery of the mountain's hideout. Beneath the inscription lay a puzzle, a series of stones carved with symbols that spoke of the earth, the sky, and water, and the fire. Faison studied the puzzle, his mind racing to decipher the meaning of the symbols, to find a connection that would unlock the secret of the mountain's mystery. Recalling the tales and lessons shared by the silver fox, Faison realized that the puzzle was not merely a test of intellect, but a reflection of the balance and harmony that governed all things. The symbols represented the elements of nature, each a vital part of the world's fabric, each connected in a delicate dance of creation and destruction. With a deep breath, Faison began to arrange the stones, guided by the wisdom of the ages that flowed through his veins. He placed the earth beside the water, for the earth shaped the rivers and the seas. He set the fire next to the earth, for fire could transform stone and metal. The air was placed beside the fire, for air fed the flames and carried the seeds of life. Then finally the water was set next to the air, for the clouds born from the sea brought rain to quench the earth. As the last stone clicked into place, the ground trembled, and a light emanated from the pedestal, illuminating the circle with a warm, golden glow. The air hummed with power, and the inscription on the pedestal shimmered, revealing the main message. True wisdom lies in understanding the harmony that binds the elements, the balance that sustains the cycle of life. You have unlocked the secret guardian of the forest, and the path to the mountain's heart is open to you. In that moment, Faislan understood the true nature of his quest. It was not merely a search for wisdom or a test of strength, but a journey to understand the deep connections that united all things. The mountain's mystery, the secret that had eluded so many before him, was the realization that harmony and balance were the keys to unlocking the wisdom of the ages. The puzzle solved and a path revealed, Faislan stepped forward, the light of the pedestal guiding him towards the heart of the mountain. He felt a sense of unity with the world around him, a deep connection to the earth and the stars, the wind and the water. As Faislan ventured deeper into the mountain, the lessons of the silver fox and the wisdom of the ages burned bright in his heart. He knew that whatever trials lay ahead, he would face them with the strength of understanding and the courage of those who had walked the path before him. And so, with the mystery of the mountain unlocked, Faislan's journey continued, each step a testament to the power of wisdom and the enduring legacy of the guardians who had sought to understand the secrets of the natural world. As Faislan stepped forth from the heart of the mountains of mystery, the world around him seemed to hold a new depth, a clarity born from the trials he had faced and the wisdom he had garnered. The mountains stood tall against the horizon, their peaks touching the sky, silent guardians of the ancient secrets Faislan now carried within him. The journey through the mountains had been arduous, a test of both body and spirit, but as he looked back upon the paths he had trodden, Faislan felt a profound sense of accomplishment and understanding. The lessons of courage, perseverance, and wisdom had been woven into the fabric of his being. Each step through the mountains a stitch in the tapestry of his quest. He had learned the language of the wind and the stories of the stars, the secrets of the ancient guardians, and the harmony that bound all things. These lessons, hard-earned and deeply felt, had prepared Faislan for the trials ahead, fortifying his spirit and sharpening his mind. As he descended the final slope, the forest below welcomed him back, with open arms, its canopy waving like a sea of green under the gentle caress of the wind. Desmond felt a connection to the earth beneath his feet, a kinship with the trees that whispered their greetings, and the streams that sang songs of welcome. The moments had taught him well. Him being with the strength of the stone, the resilience of the wind, and the wisdom of the ages. Reflecting on his journey, Faislan realized that the greatest lesson he had learned was one of balance and harmony. In the dance of the elements, the cycle of life and death, and the ebb and flow of the seasons, there existed a delicate balance, a harmony that sustained the world. He understood now that his role as a guardian of the forest was not one of dominion, but of stewardship, a caretaker of the balance that held the tapestry of life together. With each step that carried him closer to the forest, Faislan felt a renewed sense of purpose, a clarity of vision that pierced through the shadows of doubt and fear. The mountains, with their trials and their secrets, had prepared him for the final challenge that lay ahead. He knew that the path would not be easy, that the darkness he sought to confront was both ancient and cunning. But he also knew that he did not walk alone. The wisdom of the silver fox, the lessons of the mountains, and the strength of the guardians who had walked before him were with him, guiding his steps and lighting his way. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in shades of fire and gold, Faislan paused at the edge of the forest, taking a moment to breathe in the beauty of the world around him. He felt a deep gratitude for the journey he had undertaken, for the trials he had faced, and for the lessons he had learned. With a heart full of courage and a spirit fortified by the wisdom of the ages, Phelan stepped into the shadows of the forest, ready to face the final trial that awaited him. The mountains of mystery, with their daunting peaks and hidden valleys, had been a formidable adversary, but they had also been a wise teacher, a guardian of secrets and a bearer of lessons. Phelan knew that the challenges ahead would test him in ways he could scarcely imagine, but he also knew that he was no longer the same fox who had set out on this quest. He was stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever to fulfill his destiny and protect the harmony of the forest. And so, with the second trial conquered, and the mountains behind him, Phelan moved forward, his eyes alight with the fire of purpose and his heart guided by the wisdom of the ages. The final trial waited, a darkness to confront, and a destiny to fulfill. But Phelan was ready, for the mountains had taught him well. Phelan's journey through the mountains of mystery concludes, leaving him transformed by the trials he has faced and the wisdom he gained. Ahead lies the final trial, the culmination of his quest, where the lessons of courage, perseverance, and wisdom will be put to the ultimate test. Chapter 3. The Final Trial and the Crown of Wisdom. As Phelan ventured beyond the comforting embrace of the forest, the world unfolded before him in a tapestry of wonder and mystery. He had stepped into a realm where the boundaries between nature and magic blurred, where the very air shimmered with enchantment and the earth pulsed with a hidden life force. This was the land beyond the forest, a place spoken of in whispered tales and ancient legends, a realm where the crown of wisdom awaited the one true guardian worthy of its power. With each step, Phelan felt as though he was walking through the pages of a storybook, where every leaf and stone held a secret, and every breeze carried a message. The trees here were taller, their branches intertwining high above to form a living cathedral, dappled sunlight filtering through to the moss-covered ground below. Flowers of every hue bloomed in abundance, their fragrances mingling in the air to create a perfume that was both exhilarating and soothing. But it was not just the beauty of this place that captivated Phelan. That is a sense of wonder, the constant realization that here in this land, the impossible was merely the undiscovered. Streams flowed uphill, defying gravity with a cheerful babble, while luminous creatures flitted through the underbrush. Then ethereal light painting the shadows with splashes of color. Phelan watched, wide-eyed, as a tree gently bent down to offer him a golden fruit, its flavor an explosion of sunlight and rain upon his tongue. Every discovery was a step closer to the crown of wisdom, each marvel a lesson in the boundless possibilities that existed when nature and magic danced together in harmony. Phelan realized that this realm was not just testing his courage or his strength. It was challenging him to see the world with new eyes, to embrace the unknown with wonder rather than fear. As he delved deeper into this enchanted land, Phelan encountered puzzles and riddles, each one crafted from the very essence of the realm. The river of stars that flowed beneath the earth as a mirror to the sky above asked him to find his reflection among the heavens. A grove of whispering trees, their leaves inscribed with the language of the wind, required him to listen with his heart to understand their message. With each challenge, Phelan grew, not just in knowledge, but in understanding. He learned to look beyond the surface, to see the connections that bound all things in a delicate web of balance and harmony. He began to understand that the crown of wisdom was not a prize to be won, but a truth to be lived. But a wisdom lay in the harmony of nature and magic, in the balance of light and shadow, in the courage to venture into the unknown, and the ultimate journey. The land beyond the forest was a realm of endless discovery, a place where the veil between the mundane and the miraculous was thin, where every moment held the potential for wonder. Phelan moved through this land with a sense of awe, his heart open to the lessons it offered. His spirit, attuned to the magic that flowed through it. And as he journeyed, the land itself seemed to recognize the heart of a true guardian, the soul of one who sought not to conquer, but to understand, not to dominate, but to harmonize. With each step, Phelan moved closer to the heart of the realm, to the place where the crown of wisdom awaited. Its power, the culmination of the journey, the reward for a heart that had learned to see the world not as it was, but as it could. In the land beyond the forest, Phelan found more than the path to the crown of wisdom. He found a deeper understanding of his place in the tapestry of life, a realization that the truest wisdom lay in the harmony of all things. And with this knowledge, he moved forward, ready to face whatever trials awaited, guided by the light of a wisdom that was as ancient as the stars and as fresh as the dawn. In the heart of the land beyond the forest, where the veil between the worlds was thinnest, the beasts of the kingdom began to gather. They came from every corner of the realm, from the deepest oceans to the highest skies, from the darkest caves to the sunniest valleys. Creatures of myth and legend, of feather and skin, they came, drawn by an ancient call that whispered of the arrival of a leader long awaited. Phelan stood at the center of this gathering, his heart aflutter with a mix of awe and uncertainty. The air was thick with the power of their presence, the ground trembling beneath their collective weight. Eyes of every shape and hue fixed upon him, filled with a question that echoed in the silent language of the wild. Was he the one they had been waiting for? Was he worthy of their trust, their respect, their allegiance? The fox, feeling the weight of their gazes, knew this was his trial, a test not of strength or cunning, but of spirit and character. He stepped forward, his voice steady, his eyes meeting theirs one by one. I am Phelan, again, a traveler, a seeker, a guardian in the making. I do not claim to be your ear by right, but by trial, by the journey I have undertaken, and the lessons I have learned. The beasts watched, listened, their silence a heavy cloak around them. Thuso spoke of his journey, of the challenges he had faced and the wisdom he had gained. He spoke of the balance between nature and magic, of the harmony that bound all living things, of the respect and understanding that were the foundation of true leadership. In the heart of the land beyond the forest, where the veil between the worlds was thinnest, the beasts of the kingdom began to gather. They came from every corner of the realm, from the deepest oceans to the highest skies, from the darkest caves to the sunniest valleys. Creatures of myth and legend, of feather and skin, they came, drawn by an ancient call that whispered of the arrival of a leader long awaited. Phelan stood at the center of this gathering, his heart aflutter with a mix of awe and uncertainty. The air was thick with the power of their presence, the ground trembling beneath their collective weight. Eyes of every shape and hue fixed upon him, filled with a question that echoed in the silent language of the wild. Was he the one they had been waiting for? Was he worthy of their trust, their respect, their allegiance? The fox, feeling the weight of their gazes, knew this was his trial, a test not of strength or cunning, but of spirit and character. He stepped forward, his voice steady, his eyes meeting theirs one by one. I am Phelan, again, a traveler, a seeker, a guardian in the making. I do not claim to be your ear by right, but by trial, by the journey I have undertaken, and the lessons I have learned. The beasts watched, listened, their silence a heavy cloak around them. Thuso spoke of his journey, of the challenges he had faced and the wisdom he had gained. He spoke of the balance between nature and magic, of the harmony that bound all living things, of the respect and understanding that were the foundation of true leadership. As he spoke, the air began to shimmer with a subtle magic, the magic of truth from a shared purpose. A majestic eagle took flight, circling above, its cry a piercing note that seemed to strike a chord within each creature present. One by one, the beasts stepped forward, each in their own way acknowledging Faison's words, his journey, his spirit. The mighty bear, for like the night sky, bowed its great head. A school of fish, scales glittering like jewels, leaped from a stream, Artsemo. In the sunlight, the butterfly, wings a kaleidoscope of color, alighted upon Faison's shoulder, delicate and fearless. Each beast, no matter how small or large, fierce or gentle, offered a sign of their respect, their trust, their acceptance. This one, moved beyond words, felt a profound connection to these creatures, to the world around him. He realized that this trial was not about dominion, but about stewardship, not about leading, but about walking alongside, about being a part of something greater than himself. He understood, then, that the crown of wisdom was not a symbol of authority, of service, of a commitment to the harmony and balance of all life. As the gathering dispersed, the beasts returning to their realms, a sense of peace settled over the land. Theswain stood alone once more, but he was changed. He carried within him the trust and respect of the kingdom's creatures, a bond that would guide and protect him in the trials to come. The gathering of the beasts was more than a trial. It was a rite of passage, a moment of profound understanding and connection. Faisal had proven himself worthy, not by taming or conquering, but by listening and understanding, by showing respect and earning it in return. With the trust of the beast as his mantle, Faisal moved forward, closer to the heart of the realm, closer to the fire trial and a crown of wisdom. He knew now that whatever challenges lay ahead, he would not face them alone. He had the support of the kingdom's creatures, the power of their shared bond, and the wisdom of the land itself to guide him. The gathering of the beasts, Faisal had found more than approval in. He had found his place in the great tapestry of life, a guardian not just in name, but in truth, ready to face whatever lay ahead with courage. Following his journey through the gathering of the beasts teaches him the true essence of leadership and connection, preparing him for the ultimate challenge that awaits. As he steps closer to the crown of wisdom, he carries with him the respect and trust of the kingdom's creatures, a testament to his worth and the depth of his journey. After the gathering of the beasts, as Phelan ventured deeper into the realm beyond the forest, he encountered a challenge of a different nature. Standing majestic and imposing before him was the lion, the undisputed king of beasts, surrounded by his pride. The lion's mane glowed like the sun's own fire, and his eyes pierced the air with authority and pride. He regarded Phelan not with hostility, but with a stern curiosity that spoke of his role as the guardian of his kind. This one, seeker of the crown of wisdom. The lion's voice boomed across the clearing. You have earned the respect of many, but respect must be universal for one to truly lead. Why should the king of beasts and his followers bow to your wisdom? Phelan stood before the lion, feeling the weight of the question. He knew this was not a test of physical strength. No, this was a trial of character, of the ability to lead not through power, but through wisdom and humility. Thus Ran began, his voice steady, but filled with respect. I come not to demand fealty, but to seek unity. I stand before you not as a ruler, as one who serves the balance of nature and the harmony of all living beings. The lion paced slowly, his gaze never leaving Phelan. And how would you serve this balance, Fox? How would you ensure the harmony of which you speak? Fizzing thought for a moment before answering. By listening, great king. By understanding the needs and strengths of each creature. By valuing the pride of the lion as much as the flight of the bird, the swim of the fish, or the scamper of the smallest mouse. I believe true wisdom lies in knowing we are all parts of a greater whole, each essential, each respected. The lion stopped, considering Phelan's words. And what of the times when interests clash? When the needs of one threaten the well-being of another? How would you address such challenges? Wise fox, rude dialogue and compromise, and replied without hesitation. By seeking solutions that benefit the greater good, even if it means sacrifice from some. But always with respect for each being's essence and dignity. The lion's followers, who had been watching silently, began to murmur among themselves, their voices a blend of curiosity and skepticism. Yet, as they listened to Phelan, their expressions softened, and the air filled with a cautious sense of hope. The lion then did something unexpected. He bowed his head slightly, a gesture of respect so subtle, yet so profound within the laws of the animal kingdom. Firstling, your words carry the weight of truth and the light of understanding. My pride and I will not bow, for we serve no master, but we will walk with you, side by side, in the pursuit of harmony and balance. The clearing erupted in a chorus of sounds, a cacophony of acceptance from the assembled creatures. Firstling, overwhelmed by the moment, bowed deeply to the lion and his pride. Together, then we shall strive for a kingdom where every voice is heard, every life valued. Together we shall forge a path of unity. As Faisal left the clearing, accompanied by the respect of the lion and his pride, he felt a surge of hope and determination. The final trial loomed ahead, but he was no longer a lone fox on a quest for wisdom. He was a leader, a bonfire, a beacon of hope for all creatures of the kingdom, ready to face whatever challenges awaited with a heart full of courage and a spirit bolstered by the unity of her realm inhabitants. The trial of the lion's pride had been a testament to Phelan's growth, a confirmation that true leadership was not about dominance, and about wisdom, humility, and the strength found in unity. With this understanding, Phelan moved closer to the final trial, and the crown of wisdom, ready to embrace his destiny, whatever it may hold. Phelan's encounter with the lion and his pride reinforces the essence of true leadership, wisdom, respect, and humility. As it progresses, Phelan embodies the qualities necessary to unite the diverse beings of the kingdom, setting the stage for the ultimate trial that awaits. In the heart of a clearing where the light of the sun danced through the leaves of the ancient trees, stood the most venerable of them all. Its branches reached towards the heavens as if cradling the very essence of wisdom itself. Atop this monumental tree rested the crown of wisdom, its glow a beacon to those who sought truth and enlightenment. This is the culmination of Phelan's quest, the final trial that stood before him. As Farzan approached the base of the tree, he felt the weight of his journey, each step a testament to the lessons learned and the friendships forged. Before him, between the trees, trunks shimmered, and a voice as old as the wind and as deep as the roots of the earth spoke. Phelan, seeker of wisdom, you have come far in my knowledge. Yet before you can claim the crown of wisdom, you must prove the depth of your understanding. 3 riddles I lay before you, each a key to your ascent. The air grew still, the forest silent, as the first riddle was posed. I fly without wings, I cry without eyes. Wherever but am I? Faisal pondered, recalling the nights spent under the stars, the lessons of the owl, and the whispers of the night. The answer is light, he replied, confidence in his voice. The tree acknowledged his correct answer with a nod, its leaves rustling in approval. The second riddle came forth. I can be cracked, made, told, and played. Told? What am I? Memories of laughter with the river otter. The challenges faced and overcome. Sparked the answer within him. A joke, Phelan said. Understanding of wisdom also. Enjoy. knowingness of being. Again, the tree signaled a success. Finally, the third riddle was presented. I'm a band that does not play music. Yet I can be heard by all. What am I? Thus one thought of the unity among the creatures of the forest, a harmony that had embraced him, and the peace that had been his guide. Accompany. He answered, knowing that together, all beings create a symphony of life that resonates through the heart of the world. The tree bowed its branches, a gesture of respect and acknowledgement. With the riddle solved, the tree parted its branches, revealing a path upward. Faison inclined, each step buoyed by the strength of his convictions and the purity of his quest. As he reached the crown, a final whisper filled his ears. Hail, true wisdom lies not in dominion, and in harmony, not in the seeking, but in the understanding. Not on the hana, as Phelan's fingers touched the crown of wisdom. A radiant light enveloped him, and a profound sense of peace and understanding flooded his being. He realized then that the crown was not a symbol of power over others, a testament to the journey of learning, growing, and uniting. With a humble heart, he placed the crown upon his head, not as a ruler, but as a guardian of the wisdom it represented. Descending from the tree, Freyla returned to the creatures of the forest, the crown invisible to their eyes but its essence felt by all. He shared his final lesson. The true crown is not one of gold or jewels, but of love, understanding, and the unity of all beings. This is the wisdom we share, the kingdom we build together. And so, Phelan and his journey came to an end, but his story and the lessons of the crown of wisdom echoed through the ages, a tale of courage, curiosity, and the eternal quest for knowledge. And the heart of the forest into the watchful gaze of the ancient tree. A new chapter began, one of harmony and enlightened leadership, guided by the fox which sought wisdom and found so much more. With the crown of wisdom gently resting upon his head, Faislan began his journey back through the enchanted lands that had taught him so much. The path home was the same, yet it appeared entirely different to his eyes, transformed by the wisdom he had gained. Each leaf seemed to whisper secrets of resilience, and every breeze carried messages of unity and peace. As Phelan traversed the land beyond the forest, where magic and nature danced in harmony, he noticed details he had missed before. The colors of the flowers seemed more vibrant, and the songs of the birds carried deeper melodies. His heart was full, not of pride for the crown he bore, but of gratitude for the lessons learned and the connections made. Entering the mountains of mystery once again, Fasalan moved with a newfound respect for the challenges they presented. The steep paths and treacherous slopes, which had once tested his courage and perseverance, now stood as reminders of his growth. The mountain goats, with nimble steps and steady gaze, greeted him as an equal, recognizing the depth of his journey. Descending into the valleys, where the river wove its way through the heart of the land, Faislan paused to reflect. He remembered the otter's playful wisdom, and the river's lessons of adaptability and flow. With a smile, he whispered his thanks to the waters, which sparkled in response, as if acknowledging his gratitude. Through the dense forest, now a familiar friend, Phelan walked with a light step. The trees, with their towering presence, seemed to nod in approval, their leaves rustling with joy at his return. The birds, critters, and all the forest inhabitants watched with a sense of pride, for Phelan had become a symbol of hope, a testament to the power of wisdom and the strength of a kind heart. Upon reaching the edge of the woods, where the meadow stretched towards the horizon, Faislan looked back at the path he had traveled. It was here, at the beginning of his journey, that he had taken his first steps into the unknown, driven by a quest for understanding. Now, standing at the threshold of return, he realized that the journey itself was the true crown and wisdom, a light that illuminated the way forward. As Pheasant stepped into the meadow, the animals of the land gathered, sensing the change within him. They saw no crown of gold or jewels upon his head, but they felt the essence of his wisdom, a treasure far greater than any physical adornment. Phelan shared stories of his adventures, imparting the lessons of courage, curiosity, unity, and love. His words, gentle yet powerful, inspired all who listened, planting seeds of hope and wisdom that would grow for generations. The return journey was not just a path back to where he started, but a bridge to a future where every step was guided by understanding and every action rooted in compassion. Phelan realized that the true journey never ends. It evolves, inviting the traveler to explore the depths of their heart and the boundless possibilities of a world embraced by wisdom. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky with hues of gold and purple, Phelan knew what his story was, but one thread in the tapestry of life, with a crown of wisdom, not as a physical burden, but as a spiritual guide. He was ready to walk the paths of the world, sharing the light of understanding and the warmth of kinship. And so as night embraced the land, Phelan looked up at the stars, feeling a deep connection to the universe and its infinite wisdom. The journey back had shown him that wisdom does not change the world. It changes the way we see the world, turning every leaf, every drop of water, and every wind into a teacher, a guide, and a friend. In the heart of the kingdoms, where the rivers meet, and the ancient trees stand guard, word of Phelan's return spread like wildfire. From the smallest mouse to the mightiest eagle, creatures great and small gathered to welcome back. The fox who had ventured beyond the range of the known, into the embrace of the unknown, I returned with the crown of wisdom. The air was filled with anticipation and joy as the animals prepared to celebrate Phelan's triumph. Banners of leaves and flowers adorned the clearing, shimmering under the soft glow of the twilight. A stage was set at the center, crafted from the sturdy wood of the forest, and around it, the animals of all the kingdoms took their place, forming a circle of unity and respect. Phelan stepped into the clearing, his heart swelling with a mix of humility and pride. The crown upon his head was invisible to the eye, yet its presence was felt by all. It was not a crown forged from gold or encrusted with jewels, but one made of wisdom, courage, and an unbreakable bond with the natural world. The celebration began with the song of the birds, a melody that soared high into the sky, carrying with it the hopes and dreams of the gathered. The deer danced gracefully, their movements telling stories of the forests and the meadows. The otters performed a playful water ballet in the nearby stream, their antics drawing laughter and applause from the audience. Phelan watched, his heart filled with a sense of belonging and purpose. He realized that his journey had not only changed him, but had also woven a thread of unity among the diverse inhabitants of the kingdoms. The trials he had faced, the challenges he had overcome, had not been for his benefit alone, but for the greater good of all. As the celebrations continued, Phelan was invited to share the tales of his adventures. The Jumurdi painted vivid pictures of the mountains of Mystery, the echoing caves. The animals listened in rapt attention, their hearts and minds open to the lessons Phelan imparted. But the greatest lesson of all was not found in adventures Phelan spoke of, but in the spirit with which he shared them. He spoke not of conquest, but of understanding, not of battles fought, but of friendships forged. His journey was a testament to the power of wisdom to bridge divides, heal wounds, and bring together those who had once been strangers. As the night deepened, the animals of the kingdoms made a vow. Inspired by Phelan's journey, They pledged to uphold the values of unity, respect, and understanding. They recognized that every creature, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, had a role to play in the tapestry of life. The celebration of Felin's triumph marked not the end of a story, but the beginning in a new chapter in the history of the kingdoms. It was a dawn of a new era, one where the crown of wisdom shone not as a symbol of power for others, but as a beacon of light guiding the way toward a future where all could live in harmony. And so, under the canopy of stars, with the soft murmur of the wind carrying their promises to the corners of the world, the animals of the kingdoms rejoiced. For in Felin's triumph, they saw their own potential to rise above differences, to face the trials of life with courage and wisdom, and to forge a path of peace and understanding for generations to come. In the heart of the forest where magic dwells and stories are born, Felin's tale would be told and retold, a reminder that the greatest triumphs and those that bring us together, united in the pursuit of a more value. In the days that followed the grand celebration of Felin's return, a gentle peace settled over the whispering woods. Beyond, like a soft blanket of snow on a winter's morning, the animals, once divided by unseen boundaries and old grievances, found themselves united under the banner of understanding and mutual respect that Felin's journey had woven into the fabric of their world. The whispering woods, with its ancient trees and secrets, became a place of pilgrimage for those seeking the wisdom that Felin had unearthed in his quests. The fox himself, humbled by his experiences, took to wandering the paths and glades he had once known as a naive youth. Now seeing them through the eyes of a sage, his story, as fluid and enchanting as the streams that crossed the woods, flowed from creature to creature, growing with each telling, Felin's adventures, his trials, and the lessons he had learned became a legend, a beacon of hope and inspiration for all who heard it. In the heart of the woods, with a canopy formed of vaulted ceiling of green and gold, Felin often spoke to gatherings of animals, both young and old. He spoke of perseverance, of facing challenges, not as insurmountable obstacles, but as opportunities to grow and learn. And most of all, Felin talked about wisdom, but the wisdom that comes solely from books or lineage. He taught that true wisdom lies in knowing interlineedness among living things, and understanding that every action, no matter how small, ripples through the fabric of the world. The Whispering Woods, once a place where whispers carried tales of caution and wariness, now echoed with laughter and song. The streams that meandered through the forest were no longer mere water, but carriers of stories, reflecting the newfound harmony of the woods in their sparkling waters. As the seasons changed, so too did the lives of those who called the Whispering Woods home. The unity and peace that Felin's journey had sparked led to prosperity. The fields and meadows yielded richer harvests, the rivers teemed with fish, and the trees bore fruit like never before. This abundance was shared freely among all, for in the lessons of Felin's quest, they had learned that in giving, they received in helping others. They found their inner strength. The legend of Felin, the fox who had sought the crown of wisdom, but on a time, was a story that transcended the boundaries of the Whispering Woods, spread into distant lands and kingdoms. It spoke of a world where wit and will, heart and humility, could overcome the darkest of trials. In the glimmering dawn of each new day, the Whispering Woods awoke to the promise of a new beginning. The animals, once wary and withdrawn, now greeted each other as friends. Their lives, intertwined by the legacy of a fox who had dared to dream of a better world. And in the heart of the woods, amid the sun's first rays, kissed the dew-laden leaves, Faisal watched over his home, a guardian of the peace and prosperity that had blossomed. His journey had come to an end, but the story of his quest, a tale of wisdom won through wit and will, would live on, a testament to the power of unity and understanding in the face of adversity. So, as the whispering woods whispered the tale of Fail, the fox who had woven wisdom into the very essence of the world, a new dawn rose, bright and clear, heralding an era of harmony and hope. Unlocked it shit